Where you at, pal? Episode 39, finding pleasure in the pain. And I'm not talking about furious masturbation here, pal. This is a fucking serious episode we're in. POBG, what's happening?
What's the crack, Cam? How's it going? All good?
Fresh out the fucking barbers. We're in.
Look at that.
We're in.
I got Moses to park my hair for me.
Silver fucking fox. I will say one thing, right? I'm very much someone who, when I go to get my hair cut, I found that I usually just fucking go into Grafton Barber. It's probably the best one from the local area. You know what I mean? It's fuck all going on in Greystowns. I go in, usually I keep a low profile, fucking go to cut my hair, cool. There's Moldovan it's very good. And I just close my eyes and because I despise small talk with a fucking vengeance. Like, if you start asking me about fucking frivolous bollocks, I'm sorry. I can't, I'll do it. I'm able to do it, but I'm not willing to fucking do it. It's painful, especially if the haircut takes a long time.
Will you shut it down?
So today, go in. It's like, I go to close my eyes and say, how was your day? And I was like, oh, fuck, she usually leaves me alone. Shit. So we go into the hair. So anyway, you entertain it. You're having a chat. So I'm asking about, and she's a very, very nice woman, but I'm asking about fucking, ask about Moldova, genuinely a bit intrigued out of curiosity, but assuming someone's cutting your hair that, like, you can talk and you can cut hair at the same time. I noticed about fucking 30 minutes into this haircut, 30 minutes into this, and we're talking a fucking half blade blended into the fucking hairline and fucking, you know what I mean, have a look at the scissors there for the top. That's it. You're talking a fucking 10-minute job here. Halfway through the fucking haircut, it's like, she's gone, you ask one question and then that just leads into the ulti conversation. Telling me about the educational system individual 3 kids going through the Moldovan education system, the ranking of how they grade students. And I'd actually just noticed that at this point in the game, this went on for a good 15, 20 minutes. And I had a look at my watch. I was like, I'm getting my haircut for 55 minutes. 55 minutes. And she's not even fucking done. And it's like, because I've noticed she's talking about the fucking daughter. And she's like, hey, in the mirror, giving it fucking loads. Obviously hitting up the old tip. And I was like, this is why I closed my fucking eyes for a haircut. I was like, look, eventually, I'm a Gemini, so I fucking knew it doesn't know their star signs. I'm either really fucking sound or I get a bit fucking moody if you push me there. And eventually I'm kind of going like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. It's shit to do, over an hour.
How do you get out of that one?
You don't. Do you know what? I slowly just drift in my attention. Eventually the fucking bench outside looks very interesting. Do you know what I mean?
I'm the other way around. I go for a bit of banter and a bit of bleeding.
After a certain point,
bit of ladness.
I'll do 45 minutes. You know what I mean? If we're talking over a fucking hour here, it's roasting hot in the shop. It's fucking sweating like a cunt. Come on.
Where I go, they have all the best early 2000s.
You go to the boys, though. You have a fucking...
an old school barber. Talk about the owner of the barber is a Leeds fan. There's crack going from start to finish. Music is pumping. There's beers in the fridge if you need them. There's people going in and out of Jack's all the time. It's everybody's mates are there. You know what I mean? This is like a lad this is a lad sesh. This is my barber.
That's fucking great, crack.
Yeah, that's deadly. That's what I do. My haircut lasted. Sorry, I was taking off some sensitive information that was around my neck. I just we go there and you go in. There's always a queue, so you're talking. I put aside about 2.5 hours for a haircut.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I wish I had somewhere where I could go for a haircut that was nearby. That was kind of similar to that vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like
everybody knows everybody.
Somewhere. Huh?
Everybody in there knows everybody as well.
That's what I mean. I'm sure that's fucking great crack. I'm sure the Moldovan education system doesn't get delved into too often.
Not really. The closest we get to it is like maybe a footballer that comes from Moldova.
Yeah, what did you
See
keep?
that? Look at that bit of colour there. Look at
Yeah, slick, man. Did they put that in for you?
that. You can't buy this colour. You can't get it in a bottle.
You can't. It's silver. It's
That's
not
all.
even
That's
grey.
all.
It's fucking silver, man.
And the way it's hued as well.
Mm-hmm.
You want to check this out, Cam, right? Just see it in the back there. The old mountain climber.
Oh, it was your crutch, man.
You know these jokes?
That what?
Like
Fucking the old Sherpa.
yeah. So when we were going up Kilpatrick, I was there with my son and my niece, and he had a stick. And we saw that leaning. We were probably about maybe less than a fifth of the way up. So we've been going for about 45 minutes or something, and it's a good hard slog. Saw that on the side of the oak. I was like, lads, check it out. There's one of them sticks that we need. Killian went over and went to pick it up and said, I think that's mine now. I said, no, Killian, we're from Drimna, not Crumlin. Sit here for a minute, see if anyone comes to claim it. Then we'll take it.
And there it is, just in case.
Did
they do anything? Like, you getting fucking, what's wrong with just walking?
Well, you would need them. I tell you, coming down off Kilpatrick is a lot harder.
Why? Because you can stabilise.
The top of it is all shale. Yeah, like a lot of people are on their arse coming down, like scooting down on their arse.
Fuck.
And then you have, 90-year-old women in their bleeding bare feet doing it for Jesus.
Hopefully not falling to fucking meet their
Skipping
maker.
up and down. Yeah, big time. Skipping up and down there.
Jesus, man. Fucking madness. Anyway, shall we dive in, lads? Shall we? Lads. S there. There's no one else here. No one here at all. Just me and Peter. Anyway, finding pleasure in the pain is today's episode. What does that mean? Finding pleasure in the pain. I'll start this off with a story about myself. So, as anyone knows, and I've spoken about this on the podcast before, I was a fucking stoner for years. I was a serious stoner for years. And it's something that I like to have in moderation nowadays. It's something that I gave up for a long time and then slowly integrated it back in bits and bobs to a point where I never let it affect what was going on within my life. Obviously, you have periods where you struggle, and any human being, every fucking human being has some form of not destructive behavior, but they have something that they do that logically you're probably going, you could probably do without that, but you do it anyway. You know what I mean?
Of course, everyone has.
Some people have a glass of wine. Some people fucking binge eat. Some people emotionally eat. Some people have a fucking beer. Some people do drugs. Some people fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Everyone's got their thing. So my thing was always weed. I was never a big drinker. Like, I might have had a frequent drink at the worst of times, but I was never a big drinker. Do you know what I mean? So that was always my thing. And I noticed then in the past week, to bring it towards, fucking what the point of this podcast is I noticed the last 3 nights that I'd let it slip. Normally it'd be like once Friday night, boom, done, or a Saturday night, okay, cool, we're back on track. I don't have to think about it. And I'd let myself fall off to the fucking bandwagon because I had it there, because I'd pinched a bit off my brother and I had a bit spare. And I'd noticed that in the past 3 nights, it's not a massive impact. It's just a small bit of grogginess. Now, for me, in what I do, I've always been acutely self-aware. I've always been highly fucking critical of myself, but I've always been very self-aware. And that means I know when my behavior is leading me down a certain path. And I noticed in the past...
We spoke about that a lot before, about spotting the drift early.
Totally. Spotting the drift.
That's a superpower, that is. Big time.
Yeah, totally. Spotting the drift. I speak about that all the time with the chefs in the elite, that, like, you'll have a week or two where, you'll see some chefs, they were doing the program 110%. Then they work got a bit busy, so they dropped a session or two. And then the week after, they didn't really get it back on track. And then the week after, they just let that trend continue. And then it's like 1 week they're doing 1 less session. Then it's 2. Then it's 3. Then all of a sudden they wake up 2 months later and like, what the fuck just happened? I'm not doing anything here. So I noticed that in the past 3 days, that I was having these days where I was really fucking tired, really lethargic. And yesterday I was super fucking tired, super unmotivated, and just like, oh God, what the fuck? And I had that moment last night where I'd ran out of the weed that I had. And it's one of those moments where, as I finished up last night, I actually had a thought process of, right, well, see if my brother has more. And I had to actually stop myself and go, hold on a second, motherfucker. You know what's going to happen. You know what you're doing here. You know you're making a conscious decision to fuck the rest of your week. And it was sometimes I had those moments where it's literally a conversation with myself. And when that happened last night, if I go 3 or 4 days consecutively smoking, my sleep gets badly affected. And when I don't have it that night that I don't have it, not that I physically get withdrawals, but I just get a bit agitated because I don't have that wind down. And as I slept last night, fucking went to sleep at 9:30 last night, shocking sleep, couldn't fall asleep, just felt like I had my eyes closed. When I did fall asleep, I had 2 nightmares, and it was a shocking night's sleep. And I woke up this morning with a really negative frame of mind. I forced myself to wake up at 6. I woke myself up with a really negative state of mind, and it was like that was the pain that I'd gone through the previous night. I had a real, when you struggle with something, and yes, you can get it under control, but the odd time it can take control. And for me, I had to fight that and fight that and fight that, and that's difficult to do. It is difficult to do. Anyone that's struggling with.
Do you think for a moment that did you think that you thought you needed it because you didn't have any more, so I have to go and get a bit more?
Yeah, there's that scarcity thing where it's like, oh yeah. It's a human being. You have a rational mind and you have an irrational mind. It's a very, very, like, people should understand this about themselves. Like, I call it the lizard brain. My girlfriend Ella calls it the chimp brain. There's a deeper part of your brain that controls your emotions. It controls your sex drive. It controls your comfort levels. That that animalistic part of your brain doesn't give a fuck about your life. It does not give a fuck. It only cares about being gratified, being satisfied. You know what I mean? And it's got endless willpower. That's why it's easy. You could go, like, a good example would be of your rational mind taking over. If I got a new game, let's say, on my Xbox or my PlayStation or whatever the fuck you play, or someone's a fucking total World of Warcraft lunatic or whatever, you could easily go on a binge. I've seen gamers go on a binge for 24 hours without stopping playing a game, non-stop, because that animalistic part of your brain is craving that dopamine hit. And I get that sometimes with games, and I'm sure Peter does as well.
Yeah, I fucking believe it.
Yeah, like, I was playing Titanfall 2. It's a fucking first-person shooter, and I've been getting really good at it, and I've been fucking, getting first place in all the fucking games now, and I'm absolutely smashing people. And when I finish those games, the adrenaline is mad, and I win the fucking game, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, And then I want to do it again, and I want to do it again and again and again. And I could easily see myself I might lock it down after an hour and a half. I could easily see myself getting trapped into like half a day of doing that. Why? Because that's my animal brain. That's my chimp brain that's kicking in and going, no, I want this dopamine hit now. Why the fuck would you work on your business? Why would you go to work? Why would you do something productive like the gym? Fuck all of that. Do you have
Why
that?
Would you get an early night?
That's the battle, because the logical part of your brain's like, actually, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe it's a good idea if you were to exercise, if you were to do this, this, and this. And then you got the animal part of your brain, that Jekyll and Hyde kind of fucking thing, where it's like, no, fuck that. Pick that fucking controller up, turn it on, or roll that joint, smoke it. You know what I mean? Fuck it, just get a bag, or get a fucking can, or open the bottle of wine. That's your animalistic part of your brain. It wants that dopamine hit. It wants that urge fucking fixed. So for me, the other night, it was definitely a case of the animal brain kind of taking over and going, now, and I'd love that fucking thing right now. And I recognized that, and I had to put my foot down. And I know I'm going to have a shit night's sleep because of that. I know it's going to take me 2 days to adjust. I know that I'm not going to feel like I have my wind down routine. But as I woke up this morning, that negative mindset, hadn't fucking slept properly, I meditated for 10 minutes, and then I went to the gym and I trained my fucking hole off. And I came out of the gym and it was 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun, because we're getting into the latter part of the year, the sun comes out a bit later, and I know it was just a beautiful morning. And I was doing my videos, and I just had this feeling of like energy and clarity, and feeling fucking genuinely like euphoric, like a euphoria came over me. And it's like a fog lifted, It was like this fog, you know, when you're stoned all the time or whatever, the fog gets lifted. And I'm like, and all these thoughts and all this creativity of everything I do within my business or everything that I do with ChefFit or ideas for coaching or ideas for videos or, you know, the next thing I'm going to do, all of these things started. It's like a fire just, you know, straight away. And that moment came through pain. That euphoria came through pain. It came through a little bit of sacrifice and discipline to actually go, you know what, pal, you probably don't need that right now. It's fine every once in a while. You've had it for a couple of nights. Just fucking leave it. You know, just fucking leave it. And it was and in that moment, I realized it's like, yeah, that's a revelation to me. It's like the pain, you must endure the pain to experience the pleasure. But the problem is you'll resist that pain so much. You'll resist that thing that's hard. And you've heard me say this one-liner before. The thing you're looking to find is going to be found in the place that you least want to look. So fucking true. So true. You don't want to go, like, nobody wants to wake up fucking early. No one wants to go and train when they don't want to. No one wants to go and do the fucking hard thing. No one wants to go for a 5K in the rain. Like, a lot of people don't want to do this shit, but go and do it and see how you feel. The pleasure comes from the pain. Be willing to endure that thing in the short term. Boom. That's a fucking powerful thing to go through, you know? And
100%.
everyone in the ChefFit Elite knows that. Everyone knows that the discipline that you put in now equals freedom later on, you know? And if you can get in the habit of being disciplined over and over and over again, your life will drastically change. Because you go from someone who doesn't really get anything done, who feels shit about themselves, who feels fucking negative, lethargic, unmotivated, non-energetic, to someone who is like waking up and they're getting their shit done, you know? And it's like, you're just...
Now I feel shit if I don't get it done. Now it's the opposite way around.
But that's the habit, you know? That's the habit. I'm the exact same in the mornings because I've trained myself. I've programmed myself to exercise in the morning. I crave that feeling, no matter how small it is, even on my worst days. Yesterday was a shit day for me. Piss and rain. Fucking was stoned on Sunday night with my brother and fucking family lunch or whatever. And I was tired as fuck waking up. Didn't sleep right, whatever else. And I woke up on Monday and I just wanted to hide in bed. And it's not that I'm not going to get up and go about my day, but I'm not waking up with the fire in my belly, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, even when I was feeling that shit, still stuck on my shoes and I fucking ran 3.5K on a fucking hilly back road. Do you know what I mean? And came back. I was like, fuck, yeah, no, I feel much better now, you know? And my day will take a different form. It's like, to get to that point is very important because when it's ingrained in you, you're always going to have that baseline of discipline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Discipline does equal freedom. And the pain for a lot of chefs, you got to think about it like this.
Your day hasn't begun until you've earned it.
Totally. And that's what Peter said to me a couple of weeks ago. And it's very, very true. You know, the day hasn't begun until you've earned it. Like, for a lot of chefs, you'll live in this frame of mind of resistance, you know, and resistance is a real thing and it lives in your head, you know. Resistance is that animal brain. As I said earlier on, the animal brain wants you to do things to get a quick hit of dopamine, like fucking, you know, whether that's drugs, whether that's fucking food, alcohol, whatever. You know, your brain craves that. If it's a game, it's something quick and instantly gratifying. Whereas your brain, that part of your brain will also resist the logical stuff. So it will also, that's what causes you to procrastinate. Sure, why would you sit down and fucking study that? Why would you sit down and fucking read a book? Why would you sit down and do that when you can go and do this quick and easy thing, you know? That's the resistance in our mind. So for a lot of chefs, you'll have this resistance built up in your head where it's like, join a gym when you feel motivated for a week and you'll do it for a couple of days and you'll stop because the resistance is so fucking large in your mind, you know? Or it's getting out for that run. And it's like, you'll probably be sitting on the couch, you know, fucking flicking through your phone. Your brain's looking for reasons not to do it. That's the resistance, and you're fighting that, you're fighting that. And that's one of the biggest problems chefs will have, is actually getting out the door and doing the exercise. But you resist that thing so much, but you've got to realize that there's a tremendous amount of pleasure and enjoyment and happiness that comes when you get it done, you know? Like, this is something that any chef who changes their life permanently, Any chef that actually takes this shit on and fucking changes their life permanently understands this one thing. You don't fall in love with the feeling of putting yourself through pain. You fall in love with the feeling that follows it. Go and run like Peter running 5Ks on his park run every Saturday. There's a feeling that you get every time you do that 5K and you beat your time. And it's, you finish the 5K run, you've pushed yourself to your fucking max and you've beaten your old fucking record. That's a moment, you know. Do you fall in love with the feeling of being fucking 2 kilometers in and your fucking legs are burning and you're not even halfway? Probably not. Probably not. And the voice in your head is like, you probably don't need to beat your record today. Probably don't need to be fucking, you don't fall in love with that. You fall in love with the feeling afterwards where you've bested yourself and you've proven it to yourself and you've beat the fucking voice down and the good part of your brain that's logical has overcome the fucking animalistic part. And that's what I mean by pleasure follows pain. The thing that's going to change your life is your willingness to endure the pain. Like to be able to actually show up no matter what. That's the biggest skill anyone can fucking master, is the ability to show up. You know, it's a really, really difficult thing to do. Really, really hard. But if you never give
it, even on the 5K just gone, when it started off, I started off way too fast. Like I always bloody start off way too fast because there's this excitement and a buzz going. And then I know my first marker is 900 meters. Like my first, you know, you break everything up into stages in your head. I got to the first 900 meters, and then for the next 3.5K, I was just giving out. Me like, oh my God, I'm only here. Oh my God. I'm checking the time going, oh man, I've got so much further to go. My leg is killing me. You know, is my leg going to give out? I always think my right foot is going to, my plantar, I always think that's going to go. Every time I'm running a 5K, I'm like, oh my God, this is it, it's going to go. I'm not going to make it. I've gone too fast. And even worse is if I'm going, I'm like, man, this is not going to be a PB. I like to beat my record every Saturday. And I'm like, this isn't going to be a PB. And I'm getting pissed off. And then when I am near the finish line, we have a stick, a marker that we put out for the last 150 meters. You see that? You go full on sprint. And then when you cross the line, every single little part of that run, when you're giving out to yourself, is completely forgotten about. And I re-rationalized the whole run. I was like, geez, I started off really fast. God, I got there really quick. You know, looking at the split times afterwards, geez, that was a good run from start to finish. You're buzzing off it.
Buzzing. Unbelievable feeling.
Buzzing.
Similar, when I finished that half marathon, it was such a similar feeling. You get across the line, and I can remember it's easy to look back now and think, it fucking wasn't that bad, but fuck me, there was times where I was like, what the fuck am I doing, man? You know, it's like the course, it was the hilliest course, Wicklow. It was in the Wicklow Mountains, so anyone doesn't know that. It's fucking about 30 or 40 minutes
It's in the name.
Yeah. It's about 30 or 40 minutes south of Dublin. It's where I'm from. And with fucking back hours of Wicklow, up before the running a half marathon, 21K. And it was my mate was running it with me, and he runs fucking those marathons and shit. And he's like, this is the worst course you're ever going to see. There is no vocal.
Was it Sean? Were you running with Sean?
Yeah. And there was a point, exactly. You've met him at the park run before.
Yeah.
There was a point where we're running uphill and it was just incline. And there was a point where I could actually reach out in front of me and touch the fucking road. That's the steepness of the incline. And that went on. Remember, we were going up this hill for like, it must have been extending for a good fucking 15 minutes and just legs, you know, mentally you get into a very fucking strange place. I started running on pure hatred and venom towards the end. The music got fucking cranked a little bit, you know, so I could see 4 or 5 kilometers towards the end, and I ended up having this fucking euphoric I could only describe it as outer body experience. And I've done a lot of drugs, and fucking I could describe this as an outer body experience, you know. It was at the 17 kilometer mark, and I just remember getting this warm feeling through my body of going, I'm fucking 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers, I'm still fucking here. Music pumping, and just started fucking taking off, and it was like the heaviness of my legs that just disappeared. Like I was just light as a fucking feather and just going.
That's how that happens, isn't it? Even though the pain is physical.
Yeah,
and you go through waves when you're doing an athletic feat.
Totally, because I'd hit the wall already, and then I was like already broke through that, and then I could see my two mates, Sean and fucking Connor, who took off well ahead of me at the beginning of the race, like well ahead of me. They were gone way out of sight, and I thought they like overtook me. They were fucking kilometers ahead of me, I thought, and I could see them, and they were fucking. I was like, overtook them, keep going, keep going, keep going, and it was like, oh, then we ran all the way through Wicklow town, down the fucking back of the hill, into the town, into the fucking castle part, and I was like over the line. And I just remember my legs just started shaking, and I sat down. I remember lying down, and there was actually, it's very difficult to describe the level of satisfaction that comes with something like that. Like, there isn't a feeling like that in the world, you know, there really isn't. And that really comes with the discipline of fucking being able to endure something and put yourself through something. So with pain comes growth, and with pain comes pleasure, and you've got to be willing to endure it. You know, it's so fucking vital. So for all of them, we've all had starting points. Like for Peter, wasn't really a runner before Chef Fit. Boom. Look at the guy. Fucking 1 year later, killing it every Saturday, killing it. You know what I mean?
Same with the weights.
Same with the weights, getting stronger, getting better every single time. So yeah, sure, it might have been more difficult to adjust to that discipline at the beginning, but now it's part of how he lives. You know, you can actually do the same thing, Chef. You got to understand that you can do the fucking same thing. Be disciplined on a daily fucking basis. You know what I mean? Because the rest of your life will be so much better. And it doesn't need to be astronomical levels of discipline. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be astronomical levels. If your starting point is fucking couch potato, then it's like, no problem. Walk every day. Walk every fucking day. If you're telling me you can't find 15 minutes to go for a walk, then you probably don't want to change your life. That's fine. That's the choice you make, you know. But if you do want to change your life, you can do that. And you will do that. You know, and if you do, you'll benefit from it. And once you drop a few kgs, boom, you can start jogging, you can start going to the gym, whatever the fuck. Whatever your starting point is, it doesn't matter. It's vital that you do something every single day. So with that in mind, chefs.
Cam, I dropped the headphones. They're gone.
From the park run?
From the park run, from the gym. Even running into work this morning, they're gone. I don't use them anymore.
Madman.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I just when I'm doing the park run, because it's full on. There's no rest period. There's no chill out time kind of thing, you know. And when I'm doing the park run, I'm going. I'm breathing. So I'm making noises with my voice as I'm breathing. So I keep it as the pace is going.
Rhythmical, yeah.
When last time I ran, it was me and fucking Post Malone. And you know, I go around, people take the pictures, and I'm almost dancing through the park run. Yeah, I'm running, and I'm giving it low. I'm giving it socks as I'm going along, and my time was fucked. It was the last bad run I had.
Yeah,
it was in the breaker. It was the last bad run I had, and I took them off, and I went full David Goggins mode, no headphones. And then I started doing that in the gym as well. I found myself a lot more productive. This is only me personally. You know, a lot of people can't do it without the headphones. But I found in the gym now that if I don't have the headphones on, I lift more. I'm more efficient, and I'm not faffing on the phone, I find.
It's a good point. There's like, I actually looked into this. I read into this a couple of years ago, because for when I was powerlifting, this is an interesting.
You know, your favorite songs and your loud music. You know what I mean? There's chemical reactions going on that can give you a little bit of an edge, but distractions for me.
It's called a state of arousal. So yeah, a state of arousal. That's what they refer to it as. And I used to do to give you a different example, for powerlifting. It depends what you're doing. It really depends what you're doing. For powerlifting, it's a one all out. When I was competing, it's one all out effort for one rep. And in order, like if I walk out to do my max squat, you know, and I'm looking at fucking 260 kilos on the bar, it's very intimidating. It's a very, very intimidating sight. If you're not mentally in a state where you're ready to kill, it feels bone-crushingly heavy. You know, it's insane weight if you think about it. You know, and for me, I was very much someone who, for powerlifting, music was vital. It was absolutely vital, because before a lift, I'd have to go to a very, very dark place, and you could see if I had any of my old videos. like you don't, I would look like a lunatic walking around the back, you know, because my eyes would be fucking wide open. I'd be clenched fist and I'd just be pacing, you know, and I'd fucking be listening to Rage Against the Machine or something fucking aggressive and angry to the point where I was fucking physically shaking. And then I would walk out onto the platform and my mind would go clear because it's just one I've rehearsed over and over and over again. So it was almost this feeling of fucking ice in the mind, fire in the heart, where my body was totally maximally ready to fucking, you know, it was stimulated and ready to fucking go. But in my mind, I already knew what was going on. I wasn't just going to reap something out of it. I've practiced this over and over and over again. So when I did it, it's finding that balance between arousal and knowing what the fuck you're doing. You know, I'm not drooling out of my fucking mouth or foaming at the mouth. It's like I'm trying to find the balance. So with something like powerlifting, that's vital, you know, and lifting weights can kind of be somewhat similar depending on what you're doing. For running, it's nearly the opposite. Rhythm is everything. Rhythm's everything. So like for me, running, like a consistent, like for me personally, that's my rhythm when I run. That might speed up, that might slow down, you know, but eventually I found my rhythm over and over and over again. But the music can drown that rhythm out when you're running and you can lose focus of it. And if you lose focus of your breath when you're running, it's like you can hyperventilate and you won't recover to the level that you need to.
Yeah, fucking helps me big time. And that's all I'm listening to. I'm going, and that's my steps as well. You know what I mean?
Totally. Exact same thing, you know. So it depends on what the situation is and what it requires. But a lot of the time running requires, especially the first 3 or 4 kilometers, you just need to fucking concentrate. Focus on what you're fucking doing. Don't worry about, you know, trying to pick the best fucking song. It's just, it's stuff way out here, you know. So it depends what state of arousal you need to be in, you know. And I don't think you need for any kind of running, you don't need to be in a massive state of, it's actually bad to be in a state of arousal at the start.
I need to be hyper aware. I'm fucking, you know, I'm so tuned in when I'm doing it now.
Totally. And my thing was, it was the exact same thing. I was very chilled out at the start. Didn't even fucking warm up properly because we were just walking to the place like, fuck, where am I going to warm up? Shit. You know?
Yeah, and then okay, go.
And that was literally it. I was like, fuck, my hips are a bit tight, and it was all in my head for the first 3 or 4, and then over time I was like, right, well, I'm fucking going to the death here, I suppose. And then towards the end, when it's like grit the fucking teeth time, and the only thing, I don't care about breath anymore, I don't care about anything, I'm fucking going to the line if it kills me or not. And that's when you crank it into fucking overdrive and you give it a bit of welly, you know. Anyway, give us a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, share it on various social media platforms. If you've got Podbean, fucking have a look. Set up a profile, check out the fucking other episodes, and share it with your mates as well. 5-star review on iTunes. Fucking nice one, mate. With that in mind, chefs, I've been Cameron. That's Peter over there. It's been good. It's been real. Stay safe.
Yeah!